Red Corner Boxing. We're in the game.
Good evening, fight fans. It's Red Corner Boxing here. My name is Mr. Nitro. I'm with my co-host Jams Boxing Chat. We got two guests tonight. So Charlo of Boxing, YouTube and ex-entrepreneur, doing a fantastic job there. And Mr. Big Boss Adolfo, ex-maestro himself. Before we get into the chat, this program is sponsored by EasyStorage.com for all your local and nationwide boxing fight zone. Merchandise and apparel partners here at Red Corner Boxing, and we thank them with all our heart. So sit back, relax. I hope you've had a great Sunday, you guys. And let's just listen in and let the guys chat about boxing and what they saw last night on the Queensbury card from Liverpool. A tall order, indeed, for Nick Ball. We'll get into that. But, you know, guys, welcome to the show. Jams, obviously, my co-host, Darren, and Alfonso, Adolfo, sorry.
Yeah.
The big boss. Close enough. Close enough. I'll get there in the end. Only known the guy 3 years.
It's all good.
Well, guys, you know, we'll start with the undercard quickly. We'll end up with the main event. You know, I happened to, you know, on the prelims, the very last fight was Steve Clark. Up against Lewis, what was his name? Lewis Howells. That's it. Great 8 rounds for him. He needs that sort of step up. I know Lewis Howells on his resume is a lot better than, you know, his previous 7 opponents. So for me, it was a bit of a step up. But he dealt with him and he got the 8th round stoppage in front of his home crowd, which he was desperate for, and top lad as well, because I managed to interview him afterwards. But tell me, what did you guys quickly think of his performance, James?
Yes, mate. I was very impressed with him. The fact that he showed he could still get men out of there in the last round, the 8th and final round, he looked impressive. He didn't get disrupted. He didn't get downtrodden by not being able to get him out of there because he was looking for it early. Then he seemed to gas a bit, but then he recomposed himself. And I just thought he put on a terrific performance, mate. And I was very, very impressed. Steve Clark is a future one, mate.
Yeah, Queensbury, Frank Warren thinks highly of him. Darren, if I can bring you in here, because I know Adolfo. I don't know if he actually saw this fight, so I'll get to him. But Darren, what did you think of Steve Clark?
I can't lie, mate. I didn't actually see this fight either, so I can't comment on what I didn't see.
Oh, that's fair enough. Fair enough. Big Boss, I don't know if you saw the prelims for the Queensbury show.
Yeah, I only caught the main event since I was working yesterday. So yeah, I did catch the main event when I came back.
Right, I'll bring you in for that in a bit, my man. Yeah, so you know, good Liverpool prospects, and it was a good night for Liverpool overall, apart from the main event, of course. So let's go on to the main event card, and that was let's start with Andrew Kane.
Oh, going Andrew Kane, yeah.
Yeah, let's start with Andrew Kane. Well, apart from his antics at the end of the fight, let's talk about his actual fight. Knocked down twice. I thought it was all over. I was ringside. I thought, oh, he's cooked. And then, just where he got the willpower from, or what Paul Stevenson said to him in the corner in between rounds, was nothing short of miraculous in the next round and putting down his man. There were shouts of an early stoppage, James. Would you agree with that?
Bro, I actually, on the watch-along, brother, on Red Corner Boxing, I actually said to the people watching, Kane's been stopped. It's been stopped because I had no sound on, and he went down the twice, and then the corner came in. I assumed it was over. I thought they threw the towel in. I thought Kane had been stopped, so I announced that Kane had lost to Gonzalez, Arbina. So literally, and then when they came out for round 9, I was like, what the hell's going on here? Like, how is Kane still standing? He was brutalized, 2 body shots. He was crippled. He was done. The fight was over. Somehow, he managed to find the tenacity to get up, get to his corner, recompose for a minute, come out, and then take his man out. Absolutely formidable performance by Andrew Kane. It's a shame what he done after, of course. But my God, mate, you've got to salute his boxing ability and his heart.
Yeah, absolutely. Darren?
Yeah, echo like what Jams just said there about, you've got to admire his heart and his grit and determination. I mean, on the prediction league, I actually backed Andrew Kane for the stoppage. I didn't sort of think it'd go in sort of the fashion it did where he got up off the deck, but the guy that he fought, styles make fights. He's that type of guy. He comes forward, he's open himself. That's why I fancied Andrew Kane to get the stoppage. I mean, the guy's lost 7 times now, and he's been stopped twice. But if you look at Andrew Kane against the likes of Charlie Edwards, who's very technical on the back foot, moves around the ring a lot. Andrew Kane looks poor against those type of opponents. But when he can have a Mexican who stands in front of him and wants to trade with him, that's when Andrew Kane looks at his best. Even though he got dropped, it's the style of fight that Andrew Kane likes to win. He likes to be in them brutal type of fights where he can show his heart and that. We've seen him before against, was it Baluta
Yes.
in Telford when I was ringside for that as well. Them are Andrew Kane's type of fights. When you've got a guy in front of him, like I said, a Charlie Edwards, albeit Kane won it on a split decision. Andrew Kane doesn't look like the Andrew Kane we know. But that fight last night showed his heart, his grit. He packed some power as well. And it was not a great performance because he obviously had to get up off the deck, but it shows a lot of what he's about. He's got a lot of balls and he's got a lot of character in that ring.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It was a true test of his resolution, his resolve to come back and retain his interim belt. He's now mandatory to who's it, Espinosa?
Yeah, it would be Espinosa, mate. Yeah, that's crazy. Espinosa will take him out easy.
So he's got his mandatory. But what that fight showed me was certain frailties. He's been obviously he's had that loss to Baluta. He almost lost this, and like Darren says, he likes that fight where he wants to fight. He doesn't like to chase you around. He's not great at cutting the ring off. That was another, obstacle that he needs to overcome is if he wants to be that pressure fighter, I feel that he has to really master the art.
I was just going to say, Neutral, any real boxer that moves, hits and don't get hits will absolutely school Andrew Kane. He will get took to school. He will lose 12-0 in most fights against real boxers.
Well, to be fair, just quickly, Charlie Edwards, Charlie Edwards thinks that he won that fight. It's sort of open to debate. The scorecards, there weren't a lot in it. It was a split decision for Andrew Kane, but that was an absolute shite fight to watch as a spectacle because of the way Charlie Edwards made the fight. Andrew Kane, if he can stand there and trade with you, like the Baluta fight, even though he lost that one on a close decision again, it was a brilliant fight to watch. Them are the fights he likes. Like you say, Jams, if he's got someone who's got a bit more than Charlie Edwards, who can get in, get out, get unscathed, and do it very craftily and very in a good way, they beat Andrew Kane all day long.
Absolutely. There's no future for him in the game, mate. For me, I don't think he's good enough. He's got the heart, he's got the balls, but he's not got the skill. He's not got the skill set. He's just a one-dimensional, come-forward fighter who will get found out. Unfortunately, a bit like Nicky Bull, but obviously not at that level.
As DJ Pat says in the chat, the fight was really crazy fight. Kane got down by a liver punch, but gets back and knocks out to get that win. Yeah, that's the resolve we're talking about. That's the heart, the grit, the desire to win. But if I can just bring Big Boss in on this, you've heard the guys, give the verdict on Kane, and now that he's got that mandatory against Espinosa. Espinosa, from what you've heard, what do you think of his chances?
Oh, now that's a tough one to see. Now, I only saw a glimpse of highlights from Kane. He's good, but with Rafael Espinosa, man, he's not gonna hold back. We've seen in previous fights with Espinosa, man, he's got that dog in him. He's gonna throw he's gonna throw so many combos that I don't know if Kane could withstand that kind of pressure. So if this fight is to happen, I think it'd be perfect for the Mexico against the world card in September to put him in.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That would be a perfect
Totally agree.
fight to do it in.
Yeah, a championship fight, Mexico versus UK. Oh,
Absolutely.
and Andrew Queensbury, I imagine they jumped to that, to that prospect of an event overseas in America to promote their fighters. Great call. Let's move on.
Sorry, neutral. Just quickly,
Sorry,
just to
mate.
jump in there as well. You're talking about Espinosa and that, and obviously we know how good he is. I mean, that guy last night that Andrew Kane got off the floor and beat, he's like on BoxRec, he's number 59 in the world. So, to go up to Espinosa is a massive jump. To go from that last night to the next level, it's going to be so tough for Andrew Kane.
But that's the rankings for us, isn't it? That's what eliminates. He can only beat what's put in front of him.
Absolutely.
By the WBC.
It's also like you get found out as well, isn't it?
He almost got found out, but I wish him well. We'll talk about the antics later because I've got a bit to say about that. Let's move on to Jack Turner. He was facing Urbina, and he got the knockout in the third round. Jams.
Yes, mate. Very impressed with Jack Turner. He looks an absolute talent. Like every time I see him, man, he excites me because he's going for that kill. Even at small weight, he comes out like a man possessed. He wants to take souls, and you can't argue with that. That's my kind of boxer, a guy who comes to fight. Don't get me wrong. I appreciate the skills of the Shakur Stevenson styles, boxers who want to play with their food, dance around. That's great to watch for the skill set. But sometimes you just want to see a guy who wants to kill. And Jack Turner is one of them guys. Made his man quit at the end of the third round. Urbina wanted no part of that fight. Absolutely fantastic, Jack Turner.
Darren.
Yeah, pretty much is what the same as Jam says. I mean, he's done everything right. He's looking the part. I mean, when you look at some of his opponents he's been in so far, not really much to shout about. How many fights has Jack Turner had now? 14 fights, is it?
Yeah.
Probably needs to up the levels now, in all honesty, for what he's showing. I mean, he's fought Ryan Farag before, who he beat, obviously.
Tough guy.
Tough guy, but just
well past his best.
We can obviously blow smoke up Turner's arse. He's doing absolutely everything he's set out to do, but the step up in levels now is required, I believe.
I absolutely agree. It's all very well, lauding this young man so far, but that's he's done nothing wrong. All he can do is do what he can do. But as you quite rightly say, let's hold the horses back and let's see how he does when he steps up the level. But
I don't think he'll ever be a world beater. I don't think he's going to go win unified world titles or like that. But he's fun to watch.
Absolutely.
He's got flyweight power, super flyweight power, hasn't he? He's 13 knockouts for 14 fights now.
It's beautiful to see. But once the level steps up, mate, I think we'll see him struggle a little bit. But you never know. I wish him all the best, but I don't think he's going to be a world beater.
Okay. I don't know if Big Boss knows about Jack Turner, mate. If you saw that fight at all. But, he's a prospect. He's 24 years of age. And, as I said, 13 out of 14 knockouts. Doing nothing wrong. However, as the boys say, levels to be raised just yet. Right. A quick word on Brad Strand, third round knockout of Gonzalez. Bit of a, across the prediction league, mainly everybody went for a unanimous decision. So I'm a bit surprised myself to see that third round knockout, but I was ringside for that. As I said, he showed fantastic power because there's some snappy shots going in. between them two boys earlier on, Jams.
Yeah, Brad Strand looked really good, man. I was very impressed, but you got to remember at the same time, the guy was tiny. It was like a fucking heavyweight against a lightweight. It was ridiculous. That guy should never have been in that ring with Brad Strand. He was put there solely for the purpose of making Brad Strand look good, which he did,
Definitely.
which will give him confidence and they'll move
Yeah.
forward. But come on now, it wasn't a real fight. It was a mismatch from the start, and it showed.
Yeah, great point, Darren.
Well, you said about the prediction league. I was one that actually backed the Brad Strand TKO.
You did round 8.
I did, yeah. I mean, obviously it come earlier, but I looked at the guy and he, you know, before that fight, he'd been stopped in 2 of his last 3. Some of his fights, he's been stopped by not really what you class as punchers. Brad Strand's not really classed as as you say, as a big puncher.
5
I agree with
knockouts now, I
Jams.
believe.
5 knockouts, yeah, from 14 wins. I mean, I agree with Jams. I believe the guy was put there purposely for Brad Strand to get a KO win. But as you said before, neutral, you can only beat that's put in front of you. But obviously, bigger and better tests to come for Brad Strand in the future. I mean, when he's been up against, he stepped up the levels against Baluta and the likes of Dennis McCann in the past. He's come unstuck, even though he's gone the distance. But you know, it was what it was. The guy was designed to be stopped. On to bigger and better for Brad Strand.
Absolutely, mate. Can I just quickly mention as well, Hassan Ishfaq? What do you think to him? Shooter, big shooter. He looked good, man.
You have to remind me what round was that, because I was actually interviewing one of the
3rd round stoppage, matey, I believe. If I remember correctly, it was 3rd round stoppage. He looks a beast, man. He's so big at the weight. He looks so big and strong. I think this guy could be a real one. Like the next Amir Khan until he gets knocked out on the glass chin.
Is he the one that had the big chain around his neck?
Yes, mate, the big diamond chain. Yeah, he had the big diamond chains. Yeah,
he had
that's big shooter, man.
He had the biggest entourage of all the boxes there last night. I mean, you know, when they were all funneling out of the changing room, you think to yourself, how did you all fit in there? It was amazing. But, you know, yeah, done very, very well. Yeah, again, he's another one we got to keep an eye on, especially the levels that he's got. But listen, the potential's there, and he done a great job last night.
Absolutely.
Right. We'll move on to the main event. Well, a memorable night for many occasions, or many reasons, I should say. But we'll start off with, the crowd. Pre-fight, you know, it was building up very, very early. I remember I was filming the crowd. It was about 3/4 full at the Andrew Kane fight. So the Turner fight was the co-main, and by the time the main event, it was packed out arena, absolutely noisy, great atmosphere. All good at that point until, you know, later on. But let's talk about the fight itself. From my perspective, it looked like Nick was in trouble with Brandon's longer limbs, shall I say, his reach. He was getting a few good jabs in. You know, obviously, he's known for his left overhand, his hooks and that. But he seemed a bit more reserved in the first few rounds. Jams, what did you think about what you were watching early rounds with Nick?
Yeah, mate. I just felt he couldn't get to grips with Brandon Figueroa's style. His world-class experience showed. Brandon Figueroa looked exceptional. For me, mate, I don't know how DAZN gave Nick Ball the first 3 rounds. I gave Brandon Figueroa everything till the 4th. I only gave Nick Ball 4 rounds, and I was being generous in 1 throughout the fight. Yeah. And I was willing for Nick Ball to win, of course. I had him for UD in the prediction league. I wanted him to win. He's a scouser. I love the lad. It's just Brandon Figueroa just showed levels, mate. And Nick Ball, I'm sorry, is not that level.
So you're suggesting that he just come up against a guy who's technically better, come up with a strategy.
Yeah,
and we're talking
just a better boxer. Just a better boxer, bro. Just a better boxer, a more natural mover. He's got more boxing nous. He had more skill. He had more everything you want in a boxer. Brandon Figueroa had over Nick Ball. Nick Ball has the heart. He has the balls. He has the game, but he hasn't got the skill set. I've said this before. I said it many fights before. Like when he got the win over Rayford. Like there's loads of fights where Nick Ball has come close to being beat. I had a feeling this was going to be the one. I had a feeling, even though I backed him, UD, Nick Ball, of course, because I thought we might get a hometown decision. But in honesty, Brandon Figueroa is a different kind of beast. He's tall, he's rangy, he's skillful, he's spiteful, he can hurt you. Yes, he's not in the best run of form, but that doesn't mean he didn't come here prepared for the best form. And he came, he done, he showed, he classed, he conquered, and he left with the WBA featherweight title.
Yeah, definitely a very Vidi Vici moment. You know, I came, I thought I conquered. Darren, I want to bring in Big Boss at the end here of this section. Darren, you know, obviously you watched it. Let's say by round 8, what's going through your mind?
By round 8, I was thinking, what the hell are the zone commentary watching?
Yeah, same. And I didn't even have a sound on. I just kept seeing the scorecards.
Yeah, I agree with Jams. I think I actually tweeted going into round 12. I think that Nick Ball needed the last round to possibly draw or maybe nick it by 1 round. I thought it was very, very close. I disagree with Jams that he thought Figueroa was exceptional. I don't think he'd done anything too brilliant. I thought it was nothing out of the ordinary. I just thought that Nick Ball would struggle with the way Figueroa fights. And what I think about Nick Ball is, I look at it like with a football team. If you've got one way of playing, eventually you're going to come up against teams that figure you out and going to be able to go against your style. I feel Nick Ball lacks a plan B. I don't think he has a plan B. And he met his match who could go against that style of the way he fights. And I just thought that he could not get to grips with it. And I also thought his engine was lacking a little bit going into the last 3 rounds.
Yeah, he was gassing after 3, mate. Mouth open, nose busted. He was gassing.
Yeah, his mouth was open. He was gassing. No plan B. Figueroa, like I said, nothing exceptional. Just thought he boxed well enough to beat. Well, if it had gone to points, the scorecard was it that Figueroa would have won a split decision? Was it?
Yeah, Figueroa was up on 2. One of them had it Nick Ball by 6 rounds somehow.
I mean, that is utter insane.
That needs looking at. Needs looking at.
Yeah, I agree. But I thought the Figueroa cards were probably a little bit too wide on the 2. But to have one card where it was that far ahead for Nick Ball was outrageous. But
to be fair, though, I had it 116, 112 Nick Ball, mate, going into the 12th, like including the 12th before the knockdown. So I can actually understand them scorecards myself.
You had Nick Ball winning? No.
Figueroa.
You had Figueroa winning. Yeah, see,
116, 112, mate. I had it. Yeah, by 4 rounds.
I had it fairly close. Don't think there was loads in it, but I just thought Nick Ball couldn't put a dent in Figueroa. He couldn't hurt him. Anything he tried weren't working, and there weren't really. Like I always think the best fighters in the world have always got a plan A, B, and C. Even Usyk, who's not really known sort of going on the front foot, he knocked Daniel Dubois out because he knew what Dubois was going to bring at him. So he went on the front foot against Daniel Dubois. Like Usyk can mix it up. Tyson Fury can mix it up. Nick Ball, for me, can't really mix it up that much. He's got one way of fighting, a plan A.
Plan B.
And if plan A doesn't work, he's a bit lost. But fair play to Figueroa. He showed his toughness, his resilience. I thought his engine was excellent. Don't think he'd done anything too exceptional, but it was a good performance from him. He come over on away soil and he done what he had to do.
Yeah, just to clarify, mate, when I said Brandon Figueroa was exceptional, I didn't mean his fighting style. I meant his game plan. That's what I meant.
Okay.
Like, he was exceptional in executing the game plan. He knew Nick Ball was one-dimensional. He came
Yeah.
in, he kept him on the jab, he boxed and moved. He made Nick Ball look very ordinary. That was
Yeah,
my
I
point
agree
made
with
there.
Yeah, I agree with that. And like I say, same with like things like other sports, football teams. If you've only got a plan A, eventually you're going to meet your match someone who beats you.
Absolutely. And Nick
You
Ball
get
found that last
figured.
night.
Yeah, you get figured out. Like certain fighters with just one way of fighting get figured out eventually.
Absolutely.
Okay then. Right, Big Boss. You know, you've listened to the lads. You obviously you watched the main event back. You know, did you feel that the championship rounds going into that Ball was struggling with his not as the lads say, a lack of a plan B, and couple that with do you feel that his height, because he's only 5'2", that there is no plan B with him, because he's got to close the distance, and there's only one way he can do that. But overall, yeah, what did you think of A, Nick Ball, and B, Brandon Figueroa?
I had to rewatch this twice. I did because I hated the fact that the commentators tried to make me believe that Nick Ball was winning the fight, which in actuality was not true.
Crazy talk.
Yeah, so I muted it the second time around, and I gotta tell you guys, I thought Nick Ball was struggling, starting in the second round all the way to the end. Yeah, that first round, I only gave him 4 rounds overall that he won rounds in, because the minute. What got him a bit of success was his counter punching and his movement. Had he actually maybe done a bit more with that, he probably could have gotten some swing rounds in his way. But problem was, and I agree with everybody here, Brandon Figueroa, his size, and his body, and not to mention his body shots was actually making Nick Ball rethink his strategy at times. And as you guys said, he didn't have a plan B, so he just tried to do what he tried to do, and try to move and try to counter. But Figueroa was just all over him with the body shots, man. And once he started hitting him in the body, he didn't really have a plan B at all. So he just could not figure out Figueroa throughout this fight. And his biggest mistake, hitting into the 12th round, was he didn't anticipate Figueroa's left hook coming in. It was speed, it was fast, and that's what happened to him. Like I would say he needed to do a bit more to try to get in his favor in the last 2 rounds. The problem was I couldn't give him neither. Before the knockdown, I couldn't give him any rounds. In the last 4 rounds, I couldn't give him any. Because Nick Ball, at that point, he was, I thought he was done. When he tried to go for that move, when he tried to move and try to counter, Figueroa wouldn't allow him to. And when he tried to come in close to distance, he just kept him back with the body shots. So yeah, and I agree with everybody here. Nick Ball had no other plan except to counter, and that was his downfall.
Absolutely.
Just quickly as well. The thing is, just quickly. The way to look at it is, Figueroa isn't the fastest either. He's not the fastest. That's all. He's quite slow, really. Figueroa.
Quite robotic.
He's robotic,
right.
And he's not very quick as well. I don't think. But Nick Ball still struggled. But the problem is as well, like, obviously for Nick Ball's size, I said before the fight, and I think I said on the prediction league, I fancied Nick Ball to win via unanimous decision, but I thought it was going to be very close. Probably even could have been shafted on the cards, because I did think Figueroa could cause him trouble with the height difference as well. But Nick Ball's had this before with the height difference, because obviously he's very short. He's always going to struggle with the height against most fighters.
Vargas was a draw.
Exactly. Well, I don't see Ray Vargas. Yeah, I mean, Vargas about 5'9", is he, Vargas? Something like that.
Vargas is 6'4", 6'2", 6'4".
Oh yeah, 6 foot, isn't he? Over 6 foot.
Yeah,
he's over 6 foot.
But this is the problem. No, go on.
Yeah. No, go on. Finish off.
I was just going to say, like, because of how slow Figueroa is, you still would have thought that Nick Ball, a lot of the time, would have been able to beat Figueroa to the punch a little bit, but he just he really, really struggled. Like he just couldn't get things going, could he? He was really struggling to get things going. Figueroa was beating him to the punch. He did,
He seemed really off. He seemed off from the early rounds, mate. From round 2, round 3, you could see he was blowing out his arse. His nose was spangled. He didn't look up for it, to be honest. I know it's a horrible thing to say about a boxer who's fighting for our entertainment, risking his life. He didn't seem up for it. In front of his home crowd, biggest fight of his life. He didn't seem up for it.
Look, I've got to give Brandon Figueroa his flowers because, I could testify them body shots that Big Boss was alluding to. I could hear them ringside. And as Big Boss said, it made him reevaluate how he was going to approach Figueroa. And that comes back to you, Jams. It was putting him off. That was not the Nick Ball that we used to seeing. And Darren, I've got to say, I thought Figueroa was quicker to the punch. I would say 80% of the time. And I've not seen many people do that to Nick Ball. I think this is a bit of a resurgence from Brandon Figueroa because
he needed it as well.
He needed it. He's now
and he's gonna. What did he tell you, Neutral, in the interview? He told you he's gonna have a home defense before he goes to unify.
Yeah, that's what he wants. That's what he wants. But obviously, Tucky's got all the other ideas about that.
Yeah, well,
and fair play to him because that's going to be a good payday for him for his first voluntary defense. But look, there was something off. I can tell you from the weigh-in because something was not right with the atmosphere around the camp for me, where there was a lot of nervousness and aura that I've not felt before with the Nick Ball.
Do you think an injury is going to come out in the news, bro? Do you think they're going to say Nick Ball had an injury, maybe an arm injury or hand injury, because he won't let that right hand go?
I know. I just think it was a man in front of him. He stopped his game plan, simple as that, and he couldn't come up with another one. As you guys,
I agree. I agree.
As you said as well,
Neutral. Yeah.
As you said, Neutral. I agree as well. In this fight, sort of Figueroa was sort of beating Nick Ball to the punch, but that's what I'm saying as well. He is generally known as quite slow. So to be doing that in this fight, if you watch some of his other fights, he's not really known for that. But to be doing that against Nick Ball, that's what suggests that Nick Ball's off. Maybe something will come out that, I don't know, there was the camp, something went wrong in camp, I don't know. But overall, for me, Nick Ball going forward, he's got to massively improve, get things together better. But is he the type of fighter that's going to be able to fight differently?
I'm going to say, Daz, how does he change his game plan? Nick Ball is the wrecking ball. He's one-dimensional. He is very one-dimensional. There's nothing he can add to his game.
I don't think he does,
He's going to struggle, mate. He's going to struggle. He was always...
But what is the main restriction for that?
World champion.
Does he have to drop down in weight to go up against smaller guys? Because,
they're talking about him moving up. They're talking about him moving up, apparently, since Paul Stevenson said that.
For me, it's a double-edged sword, isn't it? Because, he's going to have the same problems when he moves up, moves down. It's the simple fact that he's 5'2". He's going to come up against guys that have got a minimum 4-5 inch height advantage over him, right? Because 5'5", 5'6" onwards, these guys. And he's always got to close the distance, being the smaller guy with the smaller reach against a guy that can jab him all night. Figueroa, for me, not only produced the jab, but he produced the body shots. He produced the vast array of weaponry that Nick Ball hadn't seen before in all the previous fights that he'd had. Thus, ergo, denying him his strategy. And I've got to heap a massive amount of praise on Manny Robles and the job they done there with him.
Yeah, he was brilliant in the corner. The advice he gave to Brandon Figueroa was exceptional, mate, throughout. He kept telling him, you've got this guy, he's short, you've got him, just keep working that body, them liver shots are killing him, he'll go down. He knew exactly what he was doing, Manny Robles.
Yeah.
Well, both Robles, should I say, senior and junior.
You know, you can testify to that, surely.
Yeah, absolutely. That was such a great fight, though. But like I said, I give credit to Nick Ball for trying. It's just, Figueroa, he had a masterful game plan this whole time, and he took advantage of it.
Absolutely. Now let's quickly move on to, before we close the show, what they're going to do next. Usually, I was going to say, Sweet Pugilism, excuse me, should be here. He's a busy man on Sundays. We will grab him hopefully next week. He's the guy that does like the future matchups for the Sunday morning on X, and he's got some interesting, viewpoints on who should fight next. Obviously, they're looking for the Figueroa unification with either Espinoza or Shushu Carrington.
I'm going to say Shushu, mate. Shushu is the one. Shushu against Brandon Figueroa. I would love to see that.
He's only just won that.
Knocks him out, though. I think Shushu knocks him out.
Well, that's a discussion for another time. Obviously that'd be a great discussion as well, because I have to disagree with that notion for other reasons. However,
it's good to see as well that obviously it was a mandatory defence. It's good to see there was no rematch clause. Whereas, okay, you probably could say a rematch would be fair as regards how the fight went, but you ain't got the usual hold-ups.
If it were matchroom, guys, it would have been.
Oh yeah, but because it was a mandatory, obviously there's no rematch clause. I agree, but it's good to see that Brandon Figueroa can at least go and have another fight or two. Yeah, rather than bullshit hold-ups.
Well, Turkey Al-Sheikh's already involved. He already wants him in Saudi Arabia for his next fight.
Yeah, I've seen that, yeah.
But then again, if for that to happen, they've got to promise him a homecoming, because that's what he wants. That's what he told me on Thursday afternoon at the weigh-in. He doesn't want to unify straight away. He wants to take it home, get his fans in his hometown to come out, as would any champion. Let's get it straight. And do that, because, when the questions are put to boxers, who you want to fight next, 99 times out of 100, they say, I'll fight anyone. Well, then that leads, the media into, how about, unification? Yeah, I'll do that. But as soon as they say, yeah, I'll do that, then it's in their heads. It becomes a news sort of thing. So I think Shushu just become a champion himself. He needs to solidify his sort of side of things.
Yeah, he'll have a home defense himself. Shoe York City, baby.
Exactly. And I'm sure that, now Nick Ball, this is the interesting question next. Where does he go from here? Anybody?
I don't even know, mate. I don't even know where Nick Ball goes, to be honest, because, like I said, he's very one-dimensional. He's a great fighter with great heart. Proud. He was a proud champion. Absolutely love the lad. But where does he go? I can't see it. You've just lost to a guy who was, in most people's opinion, on the decline. And you didn't just lose, you got dominated and then stopped. I don't see where he goes. I genuinely cannot see where he goes. He's going to have to rebuild his whole career, start from scratch. It breaks my heart to say, I think we've seen the last of Nick Ball at the top level.
Oh, that's a big show, Jones.
I mean, he's only 28. I mean,
that's a big show.
If he has to make the changes, it has to be now. He cannot wait at all. So he just needs to. I don't know about if he's still got in the top level or not, but that's for him to prove to all of us. So if he has, after that loss, he has to make the changes now. He cannot wait.
I totally agree, Darren.
Well, I think sometimes, even though we have said what we've all agreed about, he lacks a plan B, and that I think sometimes in this country we are a little bit guilty of, one fighter has his first loss, that's it, they're done, they're finished. We are a bit guilty of that. And Jams obviously isn't saying he's finished completely, but he's saying at the higher level could possibly be so. But you know, there's still plenty of big fights for Nick Ball. He might get back to, you know, world title contention. If you look at domestically, Liam Davies comes through his next fight. You've got that fight. You've got people like Nathaniel Collins that you can.
I like that fight, mate. Nat Collins definitely be a good fight. That's a good fight.
Exactly, and then
just
you
to
know,
clarify again, bro. I wasn't saying he's finished as in like his career should be over. What I mean is because of how one-dimensional he is, I just can't see a world champion he could beat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. At the top level, it's the jury's out. I mean, you know, he's beat that TJ Doheny, who is like in the top 20 in the world. You've got people like that American. Well, you've got like people like that undefeated American Albert Gonzalez. There's people like that all on the fringes. You know, you've got people like Omar Trinidad and people like that. There is plenty of fights left for Nick Ball, but you know, it probably will be to get his confidence up, a rebuilding process again. Will they head back to sort of like top domestic level fighters and get a big fight, like I met Liam Davis and that? The jury's out, but there's still plenty of life left in Nick Ball. But whether he's going to be a world champion again, whether he's going to get back to world title contention, the jury's out on that one.
To be honest, bro, after a stoppage like that, it's very unlikely, in my opinion. Most people that are champions and lose like that don't tend to come back. Some do, of course, the greats, but
it's hard.
Nick Ball, for me, was never that good in the first place. Like, he's a decent fighter. He's got the heart of a lion. He's a true warrior. But he was never that skillful. He has one purpose, and that is the wrecking ball. He comes through, he batters away, and he gets the win. He was always going to get found out.
And once that confidence dips as well, that's a major thing in that ring. So
absolutely, mate. Absolutely. I've been there, mate. I've been there. Once my nose was splattered across my face, mate, I never be KFC'd again. Trust me.
That's what I'm saying. And, you know, it's a big part of the thing in the ring, being, you know, having that confidence. So let's see what he does when he comes back. It will all be about how he looks when he comes back.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I was outside the medical office, and when Nick Ball came out with his team, he looked absolutely shell shocked, visibly upset.
Didn't even stop for an interview, did he? Just went straight to hospital.
Under advice, he went straight to hospital. He had to have a brain scan, make sure he was good. The manner in which he went down. Some will say it should have been stopped then. Referee Steve Gray was giving him every advantage. I listen.
Give me Fury Wilder vibes, that did, from the start one.
It always happens here.
Always happens. It's so subjective. And, you know, a terrible reaction at the end of the fight. Not only by
Andrew Kane,
officials, boxers, and the crowd, all between them all, contributed, you know, to a very unhappy ending, which could have turned ugly. I thought the actions of certain people contributed massively to that. And
big riots outside the stadium as well.
Yeah, there was brawls in the city centre as well. Such was the emotions were running high. I had to go through the city centre myself to get home, and it was madness. I've not seen scenes like that ever. So behaviour patterns need to be addressed, you know. And I thought Lee Eaton, and you know, was guilty as well. The way he rushed in that ring to confront the Mexicans for celebrating, which I thought was why? The man's just come on the way ground to take the belt off the champion.
Arguably got the win of his career.
Win of his career. He's denied a victory because Lee Eaton's mad, and that sets off a chain reaction.
And then the crowd start lobbing shit into the ring.
You saw boxers
Andrew Kane runs in, starts booting people.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
You see you see friends of the boxers enter the ring, family of the boxers enter the ring.
It's a chain
Then the
reaction,
crowd,
bro.
exactly, all started by Lee Eaton rushing in that ring to confront the Manny Robles and his team. He then realized what he'd done and tried backtracking by getting hold of Andrew Kane and getting hold of Brad Strand. I filmed the whole thing. Go and check on my ex. I filmed the whole thing. It's disgusting what I witnessed.
Yeah.
And Lee Eaton set that off.
Absolutely. Absolutely, mate. He's got a lot of blame to be had. A lot of blame to be had.
Yeah.
I'm not condoning or anything what Lee Eaton, that idiot Andrew Kane done with his kicking out and that. What Lee Eaton done wrong, I believe, to start with. Obviously, the big celebrations were started in the ring when Nick Ball was on the floor and he was being tended to. So what Lee Eaton's reaction was basically was sort of calm down, like
yeah,
you
he's
know,
not
Nick
well
Ball.
yet. Wait till he's
He's
okay.
not well,
Wait till he's up on his corner.
which is the correct thing to do, but the way he charged into the ring,
yes,
it was the way, it was the vibe of the way he went into the ring, which made things worse.
Furious,
Yeah.
not the one of compromise to diplomatic. He was furious. I'm surprised
he waved his hands and saying, "Look, don't do this."
I'm surprised he didn't pull a hamstring. Such was the ferocity of his attack in the ring at Manny Robles and his team. And by the way, if they come from a boxing environment in America, well, it doesn't matter if your man is flat out in the ring.
Yeah, that's
they will
thing,
celebrate.
Fucking hell, Brian Norman Jr. sits over you, mate, and fucking celebrates in your face while you're unconscious.
Exactly. Now, Big Boss, sorry, I just want to bring. Am I telling lies here?
Not at all.
No, you're not. And I know. I don't want to offend you, gents, because I know you live in Liverpool. But that Liverpool crowd, man, I'm disappointed at how they reacted. Yeah, that's right.
You live in Liverpool, mate. I'm in Leicester.
Oh, Leicester.
Leicester. I'm in the shithole, mate. I'm in the third world.
No, Jams is scot-free here. It's my hometown. I've been
in Liverpool, but I'm actually in Leicester now. The shithole.
I
third
see.
world. I'm in the third world.
Yeah.
Well, I'm half right.
I've been here for 30 years. I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah, I'm disappointed with the crowd. I mean, I get the emotions running high, but that's really no excuse to act like that. So I get it. I understand it, but look, Brandon Figueroa, he won his world title in his third weight class. How can you not celebrate that?
Two weight class, third time champ.
Yeah, third time champ, second weight class.
Yeah.
Or third time champ. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But at the same time, though, he won a world title. So again, how can you not celebrate that? And
exactly.
Lee Eaton, Andrew Kane. Yeah, I did not understand that at all. There needs to be some kind of finer punishment. I don't know if we're going to see that though, but something has to be done.
Andrew Kane should be stripped of his WBC final eliminator status.
No, I don't agree with that.
I do, mate. What if you act like that? You want him representing England at world level?
No,
you want Andrew Kane?
Hold on. The punishment should come from the British Boxing Board of Control. Correct?
Yes, so strip him of his WBC. You know what
they can't strip him.
Don't let a guy represent the country that is a known racist who does stuff like that in the ring.
Right. Boxing terms that can't happen because the WBC can only strip him. Right?
Yeah, well,
British Boxing
the
Board of Control
should get in touch with them and make it happen. Get in touch with Maurizio, Weeby Crooks, and get it sorted. Because there's no way should we have a guy like Andrew Kane representing the UK going. Maybe he goes to America and acts like that. Maybe he goes to Canada, acts like that. I don't want him representing this country. He is not a patriot of this country. He's a racist little piece of shit.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Hey, well, check Rico's post, mate, about when he said, I'm not going to say it live on screen, but you'll know what I'm saying. He's a disgrace. He's a disgrace.
Just don't have him pay the sanction fees like Shakur and Bud. He'll lose the belt.
Yeah, or Bud, yeah.
The actual morals of the story, for what Lee Eaton and that was doing was correct, sort of the way we do things here, but it's the way they conducted it. And
Yeah,
I'm
delivery.
talking about Lee. I'm talking about Lee Eaton here. What Andrew Kane done was just being a pure dickhead for what he just done. That, you know, just walking over, kicking out. You know, there's ways of doing things. What Lee Eaton was doing was the moral side of the story was correct, but it's the way he conducted it. He just lost his head.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
Lee
problem.
Eaton done it on emotion, whereas Andrew Kane done it out of violence.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
he done it on the violence is a result of an emotional response, right?
Yeah, but it's also
Yeah.
an
He's
emotional
just
response of a child.
yeah, but
You learn
but
by
what
the
I'm
time you're
saying,
18 not to kick
but
people
look,
because they don't agree with them.
I admit, but when you've got Queensbury's chief matchmaker rushing into the ring, confronting the opposite team, does that not give license to other people then to rush the ring because an official of Queensbury's doing it?
I get that. I get that. And of course it does. It doesn't help the situation, but at the same time, Lee Eaton done it on pure emotion.
And why was it Lee? Why was it Lee Eaton?
So why does Lee Eaton get a pass and not
because
somebody else?
He's a fighter. Lee Eaton's not.
I agree. Why was
Right.
it Lee Eaton? What? It wasn't his job to necessarily do that. You know what I mean?
It's not. It's not his job. In fact, his job is to stop people getting in that ring. Right?
Yeah.
If Lee Eaton, I saw the whole thing. If Lee Eaton didn't get in that ring, none of that would have happened.
None of it would have happened.
Because the boxers wouldn't have the license to do that. They would have gone to Nick Paul's aid and that's it.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Lee Eaton caused it, but Andrew Kane made it a public
What I'm saying
spectacle.
is, when you've got, event officials doing what they've done, that and setting off a behaviour pattern that just gives others, that's like a pack of dogs just following the leader.
Yeah.
So, and as Lee Mack says, the official Queensbury person should be setting an example. That was not setting an example. That's setting an example that, for the many ex posts that I've seen, that, the British are bad losers.
Yeah.
And you got
I've had
Queensbury
that all night, mate. I was talking with Americans all night about it. So, the UK's not even got a boxer in the top 26. Oh, you're just sore losers, you uppity little pricks and all this.
It just gives
I was
gives
having
the
it all
fans,
night, mate, till 8 o'clock this morning, rowing with
it
these
gives
fucking
some
pricks.
And I don't,
No offense to Dolfo.
But if the shoe was on the other foot, would they'd do the same. You would do the same.
But when we lose, we pay homage and pay respect to the other fight. Like we have Brandon Figueroa. We've said what a great performance he put on, how well he done. We're pleased for him.
But the bad side, that's you. But there's plenty of people who rancid on X.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, brother.
But look,
Lee Mack says Kane is Scouse, he's not
the
English.
The majority of the hardcore fans, even the casual fans, all agree that Brandon Figueroa got up a fantastic job. And congratulations to him. I hope he goes on. He proved he belongs at world title level. I hope Nick Paul takes a lesson from Brandon. You face defeat and you're going back and get your shit back. Excuse my language.
Absolutely,
you go and get it back. I seen a broken man last night, but Scousers are made of some platinum granite stuff. He'll be back.
Yeah,
I've no doubt about that. Paul Stevenson's gym is a prideful gym.
Everton Red
Very
Triangle.
proud, very loyal. Everton Red Triangle. Live up the road from me. It's less than half a mile away. And they are proud Scousers, and they will come back. And we wish them all the best. I want to thank each and every single one of you for giving us your time, gentlemen. It's been an absolute pleasure.
No problem.
A lot of time. I hope you've enjoyed the Sunday Review Session podcast with Mr. Neutral and my co-founder, co-host and friend, Jams Boxing Chat. This program is sponsored by EasyStorage.com for all your local and nationwide needs, and of course, Boxing Fight Zone for all of your merchandise and apparel. Make sure you go and check them all out. Now, by all, if it's the first time you're watching Red Corner Boxing, please give us a like and subscribe. Please, just a chat a lot. And if you're on X, go and follow him. And Big Boss on X as well. Top knowledgeable guys you've just heard. thank you for coming on. We'll
Thank you.
hopefully
Thanks for
call
having us
on
on,
you
guys.
again. No, absolutely, mate. Thanks very much indeed.
No problem.
Well, from me and Jams, we'll see you next time. See you. Say bye-bye, fellas.
Take care,
See you,
guys.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys,
Thanks,
for having me on.
I'm moving. I'm